Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I will be talking about the long-term bullish case for Solana. In this video, I will be looking at an extensive comparison of Solana during this market cycle to Ethereum from the last market cycle. I'll also talk about some high time frame levels of support for Solana on the USD and the Solana Bitcoin ratio. I hope you guys do enjoy the content and the analysis. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe. So first, I do want to start off on this chart by looking at a comparison of Solana during this market cycle to Ethereum from that last market cycle that we had with the peak in 2018 January. And what we've done right here is we've aligned the peaks so that this peak right here on Solana from this all-time high in November of 2021 at $270 aligns with this market cycle peak of Ethereum again back here in January of 2018. So on this chart, the purple line, the purple bluish line is going to represent Solana, and then the white line represents Ethereum. And obviously Ethereum has had a full another market cycle play out. So that is why this white line continues to extend out. And this is basically where we are today for Ethereum. And since we have shifted Solana back one market cycle to align with Ethereum, this is where Solana is currently today. And the goal here is just to see the parallels between the two charts because I think there's a lot of similarities, not in terms of the fundamentals, but how Solana is performing throughout this bear market with respect to how Ethereum performed back here in 2018. And we can use this to hopefully identify which phases of the market cycle Solana could be entering and what we could potentially expect into the next few months and the next few years. So I do want to start off by comparing both how Solana and Ethereum had very similar moves up to form their all-time high. And I want to focus on how quickly and how much these actually moved up. So from this low that we had right here for Ethereum in December of 2016, it ran up from $6.79 to that all-time high, again around $1,400, in just a matter of 404 days. And that represented a 20,000% extension. And you can see Solana had a very similar move. From this low that we had in purple, we had this move up around 22,000% over 317 days. So they actually had a very similar bull run by how quickly they moved up and how much they moved up. Another thing that's pretty interesting to note is how they both had pretty high market caps towards this peak. At its peak valuation from January 2018, Ethereum reached approximately $146 billion market cap, and Solana from that peak in November of 2021 reached approximately 81 billion. And that's really going to be important because how high the market cap is really does affect the volatility and what we can expect in a bear market. And then after both assets peaked, they both had a very similar bear market rally and longer term lower high. So first, I just want to isolate Ethereum so that we can look at this one first and notice how we had this big bear market rally from this local low in April of 2018 around $380 all the way up to this lower high at $819. So over a 2x from this point to this point. And then if we just look here at Solana, again, a very similar bear market rally. This time we actually had a rally that was less in percentage, but again, you did form that longer term lower high, and then you eventually broke down, rolled over, and formed lower lows. And then so far, Solana has had a very similar trajectory throughout this entire bear market as Ethereum did back in 2018. And I'm talking about both in terms of price and time, where we can see that Ethereum from its all-time high in January of 2018 declined and formed this longer term market cycle bottom later on in December of 2018, about 1 year after that peak. And that represented a decline by about 94%. And then for Solana, so far it has been declining by about 380 days, so over 1 year now, and currently it is down 95%. So if both assets had a very similar run up, a very similar bull run, and a very similar bear market, you could make the argument, and this would be the bullish case, is that they could have a very similar bottoming phase and accumulation phase. And for Ethereum, if we just isolate it back to Ethereum once again, we can see that this bottoming phase actually lasted in this zone right around $150 to $90 from that longer term bear market bottom in December of 2018 all the way up until this breakout right here in May of 2019. So we basically had this several month long period of consolidating, going sideways, and then forming a longer term base. And we actually even retested it later on in March of 2020. So even though this is a longer term bullish outlook for Solana, that certainly doesn't mean that we have to immediately resume a bullish environment. And the point I'm really trying to make is that longer term accumulation phases really do take time to develop. Again, for Ethereum back in that last market cycle, we had a retest of this low in March of 2020, about a year and a half after the bear market bottom was already in. So I wouldn't have too much expectations leading into the next few months for Solana to just immediately resume that bullish trend that we're all very familiar with. So I just want to ground some expectations before presenting what could potentially be a huge rally up back to all-time highs. And I also do want to note the risks involved. Just because Solana had a very similar bull run and bear market to Ethereum from the previous market cycle so far doesn't necessarily mean that has to continue to play out. And that's certainly one of the drawbacks of fractals, but I just wanted to point out what is possible and what we've seen before in assets similar to Solana from previous data that we can look to as some potential guidance of what is on the table. And I definitely think a run back to the all-time highs is on the table. But again, it's important to remain grounded and patient and realize that there are definitely risks involved with types of things like this. So I also do want to talk about the support zones for Solana on the longer term timeframes. And I'm really focusing on this current zone that we're ranging from, that goes from $12 as our range lows to $15, $16 as our range highs. Now, this was the level that we consolidated back here in March and February of 2021. This is the region where Solana started to consolidate, form a base to build off of, and then eventually we did get a breakout and a continuation higher. So we do have some support in this region, and we're currently holding that as support, which is a positive sign. If we do start to break down and we can't hold this zone, the next longer term target I have is this level right around $5. And the reason is because if I zoom out all the way, we can see this was the next zone of support that we formed right here in September of 2020. This was a massive point of resistance. Solana had this rejection, came back down, and then from that breakout point, it was basically a vertical-like rally to the next level. And the fact that it was a vertical-like rally really means this zone in between these two levels is inefficient. There's very little support. So I would expect a retest of this if we're unable to hold the support at $12. Now that definitely contradicts the bullish outlook by the chart presented here, but I did want to throw that out there because again, there are risks involved, and this is one of them where if we're unable to hold this zone at $12 as support, that is the next longer term zone I will be watching out for. So lastly, I do want to talk about the Solana Bitcoin ratio, and that is also at longer term support. So we do have some confluence where Solana is coming up right into some areas of key demand. And you can see for Solana Bitcoin, this level right around 70,000 Satoshis has been a very important zone all the way going back here to 2021. We can see that this was a key level in which Solana retested 3 times, continued to hold this zone, and then from there started to form those new all-time highs. So I will be watching out to this level as our longer term support. So I hope you guys did enjoy the content and the analysis. By the way, make sure to check out my Twitter page. I'll leave a link to that in the description below. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.